Good morning, folks, and welcome to the 30-minute chart club. And this is where we review roughly 31 charts. I changed it up a little bit. I added the Qs and the VIX here, uh, just so we could get a feel for the direction of the market as we're proceeding into the new trading day. We'll go over the closing price action of the VIX and the triple Qs as of the close last night. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at them as they're opening up this morning, because as we mentioned last night on Thursday Night Stock Charts Live, I was pretty bearish in the market. I thought we were going lower. We are going lower. The question is it sustainable, or are we going to get an intraday rally today? So before we get into it, for those watching us on the replay, please enter your email address below to join in with the gang. This is episode number 4. We're starting out here with the 30-minute chart club early on. Different time frames. We're trying to air this to see the participation that we're getting. This is a private forum, and the reason why it's private is because we only want serious traders. I don't care if you're experienced, inexperienced. It doesn't matter to me. We don't want spammers. We want serious traders and those that are looking to engage in conversation. We're also gathering email addresses because of YouTube and their policy of demonetizing me. And at some point in time, it's going to come down to us parting ways. Hopefully not. I love YouTube, but that seems to be the trend. So we're getting ready for it. You hope for the best. You prepare for the worst. So enter your email address below. If you are not currently on our list to join in on the conversation, let's get to it. Before we get to the closing charts as of yesterday, let's take a look at the futures action this morning. And we'll go to Thinkorswim. Let's bring it up. Now, when I woke up earlier, the futures were down, not horrible, but down. And let's bring up the NASDAQ 100. We trade a lot of NASDAQ 100 stocks. We're down about a little over a percentage point on the NASDAQ 100. These are your triple Q names. So real drivers of the market. Down below here, you could see that this is a 4-hour chart, not an insignificant chart of the 10-year yield breaking out. Again, we spoke about this last night, that we have a 10-year yield on a weekly time frame that's threatening to break out of a bull flag setup. And if it succeeds, it's not going to end well for high-tech stock names. So beware. Watch the 10-year yield. I know a lot of people get a little bit bleary-eyed and they say, "Oh, what are you talking about bonds for when I want to trade stocks?" The bond market is the tail that wags the stock market dog. Never, ever take your eye off of the bond market, and in particular, the 10-year yield, which is at current breaking out. We don't know how we're going to close out the day, but down below here, this is the 10-year on a 4-hour time frame. This is the NASDAQ 100. Again, the triple Q's up top. That is a 5-minute time frame. Let's pull it back to a 15-minute, get a better feel. Looks like we are bear flagging out here this morning, and we may just break to new session lower lows. Down below, we want to take a look at the U.S. dollar. Now, the U.S. dollar is going to influence commodities. We have gold mining stocks, commodity names. We have emerging market names. And if you're not currently a member of the Contrarian Trader, we send out trade alerts and special commentary on my opinion on the market. And I think that we're nailing this market move pretty dead to rights. So sign up for our 14-day free trial offer. And tomorrow I will be sending out the week ahead commentary, our strategy session for members. The U.S. dollar is up this morning. That probably means that there's pressure on gold. I did actually look at silver a little bit earlier, and it was up on the session. So we'll check back in with it in a moment. The VIX is up. That's a 30-minute chart, lower right corner. I know it's hard to see with my head in the way. I can't move this box with my head on it. It seems kind of silly. I can't do that. But according to the software company, I can't change it. So the VIX is strong, which is consistent with equities being down. And we are beginning to lose a little bit more steam here on the NASDAQ, but we have yet to break this lower band of support. We've been trading Tesla a lot. We have a short position here. Tesla's opening up, or is trading pre-market, I should say, down on the session. We're coming off the lows now, but we closed out yesterday 207 spot 32, last tick 202 spot 90. So pressure on the leading names. We are short of Tesla, and we hope this continues so that we have a good beginning of our weekend. Members, I will be going in for a medical procedure today. No commentary this evening. Nothing major, but just some testing. But they're going to knock me out, so don't expect to hear much from me this evening. All right, let's take a look at, really quick, S&Ps. Again, another bear flag setup here. This is a 15-minute chart, not insignificant. So it looks like we're probably going to break here to lower lows as VIX is beginning to challenge session highs. Gold with the dollar up, you're seeing gold down. That makes sense. That probably means that gold stocks, which we lightened up on, GDXJ, are down in the pre-market session. Actually, this is actually up a couple of pennies in the pre-market session. NUGT down slightly in the pre-market. Now, we'll leave it off here with silver. This is really just giving us an opportunity to get a feel for the market. Before we start taking a look at a 30-minute chart, as of the close yesterday, let's take a pulse of the market before we go into the closing price action so we can modify our opinion on those charts as we begin the trading day. Silver. I had it up here earlier. I don't know why it's not here. And I do believe it was up at last look. Oh, it is now down. It was up here. Now it's fading with the dollar rising. So that kind of makes sense. You can see the dollar here. This is a 5-minute chart. Let's go to a 15-minute view. This is a bull flag setup. No matter how you want to slice your lines, you want to make this a triangle formation, you can do that as well. I don't care what you call it. This is a continuation breakout pattern. So you can call it cupcakes. It's a pattern that's bullish and it's probably going up higher. Silver, gold, looks like they're losing momentum with bond yields moving up higher. VIX strong, equities weak. That's the feel for the market. So we're going to be biased to the short side going into the new trading day. So let's talk about, first, good morning to people. Let's go to comments. And we have Larry, top of the morning to you. Super Bowl indicator is accurate 73% of the time. Bob, Eagles over Chiefs Sunday night would be bullish for stocks. I go with Larry. What Larry says, I go with what he says. Pedro, good morning. Mr. Paul, top of the morning to you. Pete, good morning, sir. All right, let's get to it. So we know the feel for the market. The market is, we're going into the day bearish on the trip Qs. Here's a 30-minute chart of the triple Qs. Will there be a trade on the triple Qs this morning? Quite possibly. Because what happened yesterday, and this would only be a brief counter trend rally, we were fairly oversold relative to the downtrend channel. If they push us lower, where are we now in the pre-markets on the Qs? $298 spot 25. Again, we have a bear flag set up here, probably going lower. We're down here. So as we open up, we're going to be pressuring this lower band of support. So I suspect that what we're going to get at some point in time early this morning is a counter trend rally off of that support level. So you can look to trade that rally off the lows, but I would also be looking to trade it to the short side off of the upper band of resistance, wherever that may be. Now, what we're going to do here using TrendSpider is we're going to use their software to upvote charts that we like. So we're going to go with the top 4. These are old charts. We're going to replace these today if necessary. We're setting up for a down morning. Expect pressure on the Qs again around that 298, 297, 296 area. In fact, you come down to the prior peak back here. Watch 298 spot 26 to 296 spot 31 in that ballpark. Then watch for a counter trend rally. The VIX closed out the session a bit extended, and we came in a little bit, but obviously we're pressing up higher this morning. Expect pressure on this upper band of the Bollinger Bands this morning. And again, consistent with, we're probably going to get a counter trend higher on the Qs and a pullback on the VIX at some point in time. How we close out the day, we don't know, right? But we'll be watching it with bated breath and talking about it tomorrow on the week ahead commentary with members. So let's begin with our first chart up here. Airbnb nearing the lower band of its downtrend channel. You know what? To be fair, let's not call this a downtrend channel. Let's call this actually a bull flag setup. So we're trading sideways with a bias to the downside. 114 on Airbnb would look like a good support level to see a bounce off of. So this is one where I would be a nibbler, perhaps, if the market is not melting away. If the market's melting away and we're not getting a counter trend rally and we are just catching a slight bid, then melting down, then I would avoid everything long today and wait to see where the bottom is. But if we get a two-sided market up, down today, then I would look to be trading Airbnb off this lower band of support. And then I would be looking to get more aggressive if, in fact, we break out above let's call it 119, 118.75 on Airbnb. I happen to like this stock. So let's put Airbnb as an upvote for a watch. We can set our alerts off of here. You can see that in the pre-market. Airbnb is gapping down well below that support level at 112.46 last tick. We're down here. So Airbnb is catching it on the chin this morning. So we'll watch for recovery play there. Adobe, nearing the lower band of support. Nothing sexy here. We're tying up a lot of capital to purchase a stock with not such a great setup. So this is one I wouldn't be interested. Good volume into the close yesterday, but nothing sexy here. Pedro, Netflix down overnight. Okay, we'll take a look at Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is a good trade as a more macro trade. We shorted it due to the fact that it hit the upper band of resistance on a weekly and daily time frame. I booked profits on that trade to the short side due to the fact that the monthly chart, we still have a breakout above. Does it close above support by the end of business on Friday, the last Friday or the 31st of how many days? 28 or 29 days in February. However many days, the final day of trade in February, do we close above monthly resistance? I don't know, but we'll take a look at where we're at in a moment. Apple. Look to trade it off of the 149 mark or perhaps even lower, 148.50. This is looking interesting. And we're using these names because they're highly liquid, and there may be people out there that have small accounts. They can't buy a stock that is at current Apple's at $150 a share. So maybe they can put on a call spread, buy a deep in the money call, sell a deep out of the money call to help finance the trade on a liquid stock. So you can get synthetically long of Apple, but you're using deep in the money premium and you're buying off of a reasonable support level, therefore increasing your probability of profit. Apple's looking interesting here at the 149 mark. We could always replace these if we decide, you know what, there's something better out there. Apple has broken 30-minute support. Let's set up an alert here. These are 30-minute charts. Touch, bounce, break. I want to know if Apple breaks, because if Apple breaks support, we'll keep a little bit of sensitivity there. If it breaks support, then that means the overall market is probably moving lower as well. So on a 30-minute time frame, what we're seeing here is Apple breaking a support level this morning. It's rallied back in an effort to recapture. Actually, this broke down yesterday, rallied back this morning, and there's a rejection at resistance. Let's move on. We're only in the A's here. We're trying to keep this to about a half hour. What time do we have? 7:18. All right, we're making good time. Avago. Not loving this. We closed down below support. Good volume into the close. Moving averages are poised to go negative. 20 period versus the 50 period. I'm going to pass on Avago. Boeing. Boeing's looking good here. Boeing had broken support on a 30-minute time frame. It's like a megaphone formation going on here. I don't see a compelling reason to go jumping in this morning on Boeing, especially with the market weak. But if you start to see a pullback on Boeing down to around 211 to 210.50 and do a retest of those support levels, I think you can nibble with a stop loss right below, give yourself a little bit of room down around 209.50 and just stop out with a small loss. But if we hold 210.50, 210, then we may be getting ready for a move up higher should the market find its footing. I'm not going to add this one. I'll keep it as a consideration to our list, but I don't see a short-term play here. I see more of a consolidation play on Boeing and it being a watch. Now, BlackRock may be an interesting one. Credit Suisse, I don't know what they're doing this morning. We talked about this last night. Credit Suisse was down over 15%. It's vastly underperforming the banking sector. And it's up slightly, but there's there's no news here. It would have been up sharply this morning on nationalization or what have you, or down because it might imply that there's going to be a wipeout we'll be down because there'll be a wipeout of the investors. So the bonds would rally. So BlackRock is interesting in that, and we've traded BlackRock, and this is one where we trade options on because it's such a high dollar stock. A lot of pressure on BlackRock. I think that if BlackRock comes in at around 705, that the options could be bought here, call options. Very oversold on stochastics. I think we're setting up for a counter trend rally here. Again, watching that 705 mark is pretty interesting. Let's throw, and we don't have to stick to 4. If we want to add more to the list, we can. What we need to do is just go to up here and just change it from 4 to 6. So let's go with BlackRock. And let's create an alert down here. I like this support level at 705. Trend line utilizing, so there must be utilized confirmation candle, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what you're talking about here. It's the first time I'm seeing this. I don't want extended session. Market hours. Again, we'll be using a call spread here, meaning buying a deep in the money call option, simultaneously selling a deep out of the money call option. That way, it doesn't take up too much of our buying power. When you sell that deep out of the money option, it really reduces the amount of buying power that it takes to put that trade on. And plus, if you're wrong, well, that put that you sold, while you're losing on one side of the trade, you're making money or offsetting that loss with the opposite side of the trade. I'm going to put together tutorials on these. I'm going to link them below in the future. So that way, when I talk about them, you can go to a video and it'll be brief, concise, crisp, clear, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so BlackRock on our list, watching for it to hit support. Chipotle Mexican Grill, they had earnings. That didn't come out well. I'm not ready to do an earnings play yet. I don't know if enough damage has been done here. No, it's just begun. Avoid CMG. Coinbase, a lot of bad news coming out in the crypto market. Kraken, I believe, was another one that had some very, very poor news. I never even heard of them, so I am no crypto guy. I don't see a trade here. Perhaps if we get down to 56 bucks a share again, nothing strikes me. CrowdStrike, nothing happening here. Disney, wouldn't touch it. DocuSign usually has pretty expensive options. You bought the TQQQJW. That's the long QQQ. You may get a pop. I wouldn't blame you for doing that. But is it a day trade or is it a longer term swing trade? NTLA books look very good. Okay, JW. We don't really go over chart requests during these sessions. We try to keep it brief so that people can get to work and do their own analysis. So if you want me to go over that on Sunday night, Futures Live, or if you remember, you can ask me anytime. And on Thursday night, Futures Live, we could go over those as well. So please join us during those sessions, or if you join, ask me at any time, and I'll go over those charts for you. DocuSign. I like DocuSign as an options trade because usually the implied volatility is expensive, meaning the options are expensive. And as options selling or options sellers, we like expensive options. So DocuSign, it's consolidating. Nothing really to do here per se, especially with yields rising. Big volume into the close yesterday. Were yields pulling back, I would be a little bit more interested in doing a swing trade of the common stock here. I would check out the options to see whether or not they're expensive. This is the way I do it. It's very simple. Docu. It's gapping down in the pre-market. Options implied volatility is pretty expensive here. So the options are interesting. This is one where if you didn't want to touch the fire, touch the stove and get burned, you want to sell premium, put on a strangle trade, collect some premium. That's probably the best way to trade this one at current. So this is not one I would want to trade the common stock or put on a directional bet using options. I would want to be more neutral with Docu right now. Domino's Pizza, I think they have earnings coming up, so we're not going to play this one. Google, interesting, got beaten up, probably overdone on that AI news. Stokes are looking interesting. RSI is looking interesting. I'm not seeing a great setup here except for the indicators, but that's not really a reason to go buying a stock. We'll track it to see whether or not, that's not going to work. If they move it lower, this may be one that would be interesting off of prior support, wherever that may be. Well, it bounced off of prior support yesterday at 93.63 and closed above it. But what if we get an oversold move today? I think that this could be a buy down at 90, let's call it $92 a share, give or take a dime. So Google is interesting. I'm going to add this one. Let's see what it's doing in the pre-market. And folks, if you're not using TrendSpider, 35% discount code below, COM35, and get your AI, artificial intelligence, using automated trend lines. And let's bring up the automated trend lines here. Can I do... I got to figure out how to do the monthly overlays on this. I'm not getting any 30-minute support or resistance levels. Let's do this. I didn't want to do that. Oh, look at this. That's interesting. So this is the pre-market action. What we did here is, after bouncing, this is the close as of yesterday, we proceeded lower, consolidated sideways, and we broke out above the 30-minute resistance line on Google. Last tick was 94.84. Where does that take us? What was that again? Is this showing? Not much in terms of price movement. I would rather get it at lower lows at support. We'll watch it. Meta looking interesting here. I have a short position that's expiring today, hopefully expiring. We sold in 190 call options. And this is looking good. Frankly, I like this better than Google. Let's see what they're doing in the pre-market. I mean, this is pretty oversold, due for a bounce. I like Meta. You know, we could do this. We could just simply add on a fourth box, six boxes actually. So Meta is looking interesting in the pre-market. Yeah, it broke out above this 30-minute time frame. I like Meta today. Good looking chart. NY Jets. Is AI the new pharma? AI is the new 3D printing. It's the new .com. So right now it's going through a boom. It's going to go through a bust, and out of the ashes is going to rise the leadership of that group. So AI right now, I think I'd be a player of the big players, NVIDIA, so on and so forth. We're going to go to NVIDIA in a moment. Microsoft looking interesting. Not my favorite swing trade. This is interesting, but I prefer Meta. I prefer Google. MRNA, we call this as a short. I don't think this is a short anymore. I think that this is going to rally. I wouldn't buy it because of the headline risk out there, but let's entertain it because other people may want to buy this as a long. Because what we're doing here is we are beginning to consolidate. Descending wedge formation, 30-minute time frame. And I want you to take note. We talked about this last night. We're always looking for bullish or bearish divergences. So while the share price has been putting in new lower lows, what has RSI been doing? It's putting in higher lows. That's a bullish divergence. And in fact, 30-minute time frame, it broke out. My guess is that MRNA rallies today. So this is one that, I'm going to throw this on the watch list. I wouldn't carry it overnight. MRNA. It looks like it gapped down this morning below this support level. It was consolidating against support. And again, these are the automated trend lines, folks. Take them off, click of a button, put them back on. And we're gapping down, but this is volatile. It could be on very light volume. So we'll watch mRNA today to the long side, not to the short side. We've been bearish on mRNA. We've been right on that. But now I'm looking for a pop on mRNA. Let's take a quick peek at a daily chart to get a feel for the macro direction. Not great. I wouldn't carry this overnight, but perhaps for a short-term trade. Nike, not loving it. Netflix. So it was mentioned that Netflix, Pedro mentioned that it was down overnight. Let's check it out in the pre-market. And we'll talk a little bit about this one. I would not go buying Netflix. Yeah, he's right. We're getting a move lower. The close last night, 362.5, and last tick 358.6. So not an insignificant move. We were lower, we bounced. Now, the thing is with Netflix is that we shorted this. I'll show you why we shorted it. Weekly chart, very extended to the upside. We're rolling over on Stokes. Now, we booked profits because we're still holding weekly support. That may change today. And also, I mentioned earlier about monthly support and why I didn't want to hold the shares short while actually we broke out last month. This month is going to be a retest. If we fail to hold monthly support, which we captured in January at around 344 per share, give or take a few dimes. If we fail to hold that support level, then I would be looking to short Netflix. Right now, we have to take a wait and see approach because the market's saying it's been strong, it's holding support. So I'm reluctant to initiate a new short position here. Do we see a long setup happening here? Only if we get down to 357.50. We'll see if it bounces there. Where did I say we were in the pre-market? We're just off of that support level. We bounced off of it. Let's see if we hold it during normal hours trade. That's when the volume is going to be in there. NVIDIA 30-minute chart. Let's bring it up on this chart here. I don't like that style. The video is not looking bad. I don't see a trade here, though. Momentum indicators are very weak. And we're near daily resistance on the video. I'm going to pass on the video. PayPal, they reported last night. Let's see what they're doing in the pre-market. They're pretty much unchanged. Option writers made a lot of money here last night. I should have played this one. I did not. So PayPal unchanged on earnings. 30-minute chart. This is looking interesting. If the market finds a footing, we have a descending wedge formation. This is one that could be played for a bounce. So PayPal looking interesting as an oversold trade off of support. We bounced off of support last seen back on January the 25th. So PayPal warrants an addition to the watch list. Qualcomm, another one, a descending wedge formation, looking interesting. I'm going to add Qualcomm. I like this better than NVIDIA to the long side. Let's add that. And we're going to keep it at, what do we have, 8 charts up here? We don't want any more than that. Qualcomm in the pre-market is gapping down. Last ticket around 129. Where does that bring us relative to the closing price action as of yesterday? We're right where we want to be. I mean, I like Qualcomm this morning, folks. Qualcomm's looking really good for a counter trend move. Shopify, no bueno. Target, consolidating, not loving it as a trade. Salesforce.com, potential reversal here and a move higher on Salesforce. This is one that could be a breakout. Let's check out the daily view. Yeah. It held support yesterday. It actually bucked the rest of the market yesterday and closed up 2.33%, more than that actually. So CRM looking good as more of a swing trade. Twilio. I like other ones better. Tesla. That's down in the pre-market. Oversold. This is going to be on our list no matter what. It's a great trading vehicle. To the short side, not to the long side, to the short side. It's already down in the pre-market. Walmart, forget about. Zoom. Possible trade to the upside here. But we have better ones out there. Again, folks, thanks for being here. Let's go to comments really quick. 30-minute chart, 921. Give us buys on BP on Tuesday. Nice. Maybe we should add BP to our watch list, Larry. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. If you're watching this on the replay, this is a private session. You're watching the replay. If you want to join in the conversation with the rest of the team, please enter your email address below on this page. We hate spam too. Scroll down. You'll find the link down here. If I can get my arrow to work, there we go. There you go. Enter it and join in on future sessions. Thank you for being part of the 30-minute chart club. Members, I'll talk to you tomorrow on the week ahead commentary. And to everybody else, on Sunday Night Futures Live, I'll talk to you there, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like, subscribe. You know the deal. Take care, folks. Have a profitable trading day. Be well.